Yo, what's up everyone? Kyrios here, and we have to talk about how you're going to start doing your endgame farming. This is specifically after TL50, but you should probably start thinking about it now. So we're going to go over some baselines, we're going to go over some things you really should think about and things you should be doing, and some mistakes you're probably making along the way, and how we could better optimize your energy. If you guys can, hit that like and subscribe. It does help us support this channel. Let's get started. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. I don't know how to really structure this video. I'm going to be all over the place because there's a lot of concepts that I need to talk about here. So just bear with me. We're going to get through it and we're going to help you guys out. So right now I am TL55 and I want to get you some help as you can level some of your characters up there. Now quickly, I do want to point out that I have already done some leveling guides in the past, from the TL40 guide, the TL50 guide, the TL30 guide. And I have spreadsheets along the way that you can use as a calculator that can help you quantify how much of farming you have to do. So go ahead and check those out. But let's carry on. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started here. Now, there's a few baselines we need to go over. I'm going to go over them as quickly as possible, but I'm going to drag this down. Now, if you're in your TL50s, I'm currently TL55. At TL40, if you've been following any of my guides, you should have about 8 heroes at level 60. And at TL50, you should have about 4 heroes at level 70. We don't really count the main MC because you should always upgrade the main MC because it's free. They give you the essential materials anyways. And the reason we do this is sets you up for MOC. You're able to start progressing because you got 2 full teams. And then the reason why is it becomes very, very expensive and very hard to start leveling characters, especially as we go up to TL60. So the reason why I was bringing this up is that you can see that we essentially cut this in half every single time, right? The reason we do that is that so you can go farm other things, because other things become very important in your TL50s, like traces and getting gear and a bunch of other things. And you can't overly invest in your heroes. So there's 2 reasons I'm bringing that up, and we're getting this out of the way real quick. Is you need to ask yourself, who is your 2 primary DPS? So you should go through your list. Like mine's Jingyuan that you can see here on screen, and my other one is actually Shusheng that you can see here on screen as well. Now, the reason why we bring that up is who your primary 2 DPS is, because guess what? That's probably who you're going to level at TL60, because DPS matters a ton compared to being a higher level, Japard or something like that. You don't have to level them up all the way in the beginning. They'll actually do better with gear than they will with levels, but your main DPS will do better with levels than sometimes gear. So it's better to just stack both if you can. 2, when you go to TL60, it's going to take roughly 135 purple books, 135 purple books, however you want to break that down into blue books, right? So you would times that by 4, and it will take roughly around 400 to 500,000 credits just the level alone per character. So we want to make sure we're not overly farming materials, because you don't need to bring everyone to level 80. So let's get into the thick of it. All right, so that brings us probably to your first mistake. So there's a lot of things that you should be doing. You should still be doing your simulated universe. I don't know how much energy you should be pumping here compared to doing some gear farming, but you should definitely be doing some gear farming as well, because now that TL50, you can actually get a chance at getting double gold gear. So this is a perfect opportunity to really just break down and start doing a lot of your gear farming here. Now it'll be slightly better at TL60. So I wouldn't go overly heavy in the gear farming, because you are going to get that 5 difficulty and you will get that 6 difficulty eventually. So don't overly do it. Just get the gear that you need and get out. Get your primary DPSs cracked out. Get a little bit of gear for your supports, and then you really don't have to overly do it. So that brings us into our priority here, right? So we can set this up. Let's say we would say somewhere in like the TL50s to maybe 54, right? Maybe 53 to 54. We are going to do a lot of gear farming from here. You're going to try and get those 2 main sets for your primary DPS. Mine's being physical, and I need the lightning set. And then you're still going to do a lot of simulated universe as well. So you're going to spend a lot of energy here. And this is pretty much the amount of energy I would farm depending on how much TL you have. So I think that brings us into your first mistake that you shouldn't be doing. And one of the things you should not be farming in your TL50s is the ascension materials. You're gonna be like, whoa, wait a second. I need ascension materials to level. Okay, if you need to get 4 characters up to TL50 and you haven't got enough ascension materials, go ahead and farm that to get your 4 main characters up, right? Your 2 primary DPS and whatever other 2 characters you decide to level. But I would not farm more than that because we're not bringing a lot of more characters to level 70, and you're worried about the 2 characters you're bringing to level 80. But here's the kicker, is the reason that we do not do this, and this is the big tip, is that since we're only leveling 2 characters, you're going to wait till your TL60, and as soon as you hit TL60, you're going to farm some ascension materials because we have a 4th version of the stagnant shadow. Now, this will give you 5 materials instead of 4, cutting down the amount of materials that you need. And since the enemies just get a little bit tougher and your support should be pretty okay, you really just need to do a lot more damage so you can take everything down. So being able to farm this at TL60 immediately is going to be your biggest tip. So we're not going to farm any of this essentially in the TL50s. All right, that brings us to the bread and butter of what you're really going to be farming. And the thing that you really should be farming is your I can't find them. There it is. The Calyx Crimson. Is you should be farming your trace materials specifically in your TL50s. And I would go completely ham on farming as much of this as possible. Now, the reason why we do that, let's go ahead and just teleport over to this, is that you can see there is only one other version available. So you could wait till TL60s, but there's just not a better option of things to do besides some more gear farming than there is to do trace farming now, considering that we know the ascension materials are better at TL60 and you're already capped out on the amount of EXP books that you can get and the amount of credits you can get. So we will farm a little bit of that. Don't get me wrong. This just leaves the best spot for your energy to be used. So quickly going through it, you want to find your main core team. So pick your 8 characters. Your 2 primary DPS are going to be the ones that you need to crack out like no other, right? So like for Jing Yuan, I need to make sure that I have everything that's DPS oriented or everything possible actually level. Now, you may be wondering why I didn't level his basic attack. It's because he never basic attacks. If you basic attack with Jing Yuan, you're pretty much messed up, right? Never really happens. So, but you can see that as we hit Ascension 6 and we want to have these materials immediately, he gets that crit rate increased by 10%. Absolutely crushing. I'm going to move my camera over here for a second, but you can see all the materials that you need in order to get that up there, right? So you need like 8 keys. That's crazy. I need to get this one right away. It gives me 5.3% crit. That's crazy. And then these start costing a ton as well too. A ton of keys that it's really going to start costing you. And you should be able to unlock almost everything on your primary 2 DPS immediately, even though this costs 160,000, which brings us to our which will bring us to our final point. But just quickly going through a lot of the characters, I do want to point out that not every character needs Ascension 6 upgrades. Now, Ting Yun does need an Ascension 6 upgrade. That's absolutely amazing. I would totally go after that. Natasha's is actually really good as well if you need some additional healing. But you can see I haven't really poured that much love into Natasha, and Japard especially doesn't need a whole lot of anything. But if we go over to our, our main MC, this one's absolutely killer. I would do this one immediately. Protected by a shield, increases their attack by 15%. And then Shu Shang's is really good as well, right? After using a basic attack or a skill, if there's enemies on the field with weakness, Shu Shang advances forward by 15% and gets you to that 8% attack percentage and stuff like that. So you really just need to look at the characters you have and just plan out the ones that you're doing. Bronya is absolutely amazing, right? When Bryan's on the field, all allies deal 10% more damage. What? It's crazy. I gotta get this right away. You know what I mean? So, but you can see I need music boxes. I need whatever these things are called, the arrows of Star Chaser. I need the keys of victory here. And this is just such a good time to be able to get a bulk amount of these materials. And this is where I'd really be focusing it. Focus on your 2 or 3 primary DPS. Mine Shu Shang, Jing Yun once again, and it's actually Dan Heng, who's actually gotten very neglected, but he is up there on characters that I bring into MOC. All right, and we're going to get to a final mistake here in a second, but you can see I added to that priority guide. TL53 to 58 is really going to be traces. Sprinkle in what you got to do in order to have fun with the game and get the gear that you want and stuff like that. But those traces at this level are going to help you out a ton compared to sometimes fetching just really terrible gear. Now, you can see that I've left TL58 through 59 open. And I would kind of say actually 57 through 58, depending on how many resources you need. So we did go over that you need about 135 purple books. You need about 500,000 per character, and we're only leveling 2 characters when we get to TL60. But the other thing you need to realize is that traces take a lot of money. So the reason that we're leaving this open is this is going to be your EXP sessions and your money sessions. Now, I do want to point out that you do get money from your dailies and a bunch of other things. So over the course of like the month that you're TL50, if you're not refreshing and stuff like that, right, you're going to get a decent amount of extra materials just by playing the game, right? You'll get those blue books. You'll get 28,000 here. You'll get another 8 there. You'll get another 20,000 there. You'll do your simulated universe. You'll get some money there and stuff like that, right? But since your XP materials no longer can go up, those calyxes, I would just be, and then your the amount of money you can get doesn't go up either. So let's go ahead and teleport over there real quick. And you can see here, we're already at 5. So we're already maxed out. So my general rule here is that you should be sitting when you hit TL60, and depending on how much trace upgrades you want to do at TL60 as well with your ascension, you need to be sitting at somewhere between 1.5 to 2 million credits. $1 million is going to be spent leveling your characters, and we haven't even gotten the light cones. Light cones are going to come after TL60 because you've probably gotten enough up to like 70 or 60 or something like that, right? To be okay, and then you'll get them leveled up after your characters. So if we go back over here, I would say optional light cone exp XP. What am I doing? Hello, XP farming, right? Now, if you do light cone XP farming, you're gonna have to cut into your trace farming. You're gonna have to cut into that gear farming. You're gonna have to cut into, you can't cut into the XP and money farming unless you already have the XP and money. And if you're a big old whale, you probably don't even need this right now. But that pretty much set you up with what you need to be focused on as of right now. So, that's all I really have on this video. I was kind of all over the place, but I'm hoping this kind of helps you out. I'm hoping this helps a lot of people out and kind of gives them the idea of how many characters they should have leveled and where, like, what progress they should be doing and where they should be and what they should be farming and what they should spending their energy on. You just need to look towards the future and where you need to be. So on that note, I'm going to let you guys go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this cleared it up for you. And I'll see you guys on the next video and out on the live streams. Come join me on Twitch. Take it easy and fist bump from me to you.